I just made this cup of coffee and I'm going to 3D scan it using Scaniverse. Find the Scaniverse app right there on my screen. Depending on the version you're using, your user interface might be slightly different. To start a new project, press the red button at the bottom. It's going to ask you whether you need a splat, lifelike scans, or a mesh, which is a collection of triangles that we use to represent a three-dimensional shape or solid. So we are going to choose mesh. And next, the app is going to ask you, are you scanning a small object or medium object or large area? So a cup of coffee is pretty small, so we are going to choose a small object. Now you can see that cup of coffee, and it's going to ask you, in most cases, to move your phone back and forth so that it can take some basic measurements. All right, once you have that cup of the target, the object, in your view, press the record button and slowly walk around the object and make sure it's in your roughly at the center of your screen. So it's going to capture the depth of all those points on the surface of this cup. You can go around and around. Since this is on a desk, I'm going to just use my arm and scan around this object. Okay, look at the very bottom, look at the top. Once you have this whole thing scanned, you can press the square button to stop it. All right, so the scanning process is basically completed. Now we need to process or clean up the data, and Scaniverse will ask you whether you prefer speed, area, or details. For this small cup, we are going to choose detail. Depending on the size of the object and the amount of details you scan, it can take anywhere from a minute to perhaps 30 minutes or more. So be patient. Essentially, it's computing the depth of all those points scanned from the surface of the solid, our coffee cup. And at the same time, you can do a preview of the object at the very top. You can just use your finger to manipulate the object. As more and more points are added, we're going to have a decent scan of the desktop and the cup along with the chair. So your scan is now processed and the whole project is completed. Press save. You can always give it a name if you want to. On the next screen, you are going to have a few options, and at this point, you don't have to hold your phone near your target. You can do it anywhere. Essentially, you're doing manipulation, right? So we are going to choose edit. I'm going to remove the extra pieces we don't want to keep. So choose crop, and you can use a cube shape or a cylinder shape. For a cup of coffee, I think the cylinder shape is all right. And make sure you choose that part of the scanned image, okay, that you really want to keep. So when you're done, press the check mark, meaning you're done. And you can save it. Right? or you can manipulate it until you're happy. So essentially, you now have a 3D scanned cup of coffee. You can zoom in and zoom out on your screen. You can actually also do some AR view, augmented reality. Let's save first. All right, at the on the next screen, this is really the previous screen, and you have multiple choices there. You can take some pretty accurate measurements. You know, the diameter of the bottom and the diameter of the opening and the height, and you can measure them and then calculate the volume if you want to, how much coffee is inside. Or you can do an AR view. I like this, and especially when you have a scan of a real life object, is really fun to place it in any place. Let's try that. Press AR view, and it's going to ask you to move your phone back and forth. So the app has a basic understanding of the environment. So now you can see that cup of coffee is somewhere hanging in your, right now I'm in a classroom. You can walk toward it. Take a look at the coffee inside and go around it. Okay, so this is really blended with your, right, there's a classroom. You can place anywhere outside. But anyway, so that's an AR view. When you're done, go back. So press the X mark to close it. Close the AR view. So now this scan is really stored on your iPhone in the storage. So in the library, okay, so here I have a few other things scanned. So that's the cup of coffee. And if you want to share this with other people, or you should create an account using your email with the Scaniverse, and then click share. Share the 3D scan of the object, and click share link, and it's going to ask you for some login information. The whole scan will be uploaded to a website, and you can use it on your computer. All right, of course, you can also export a model. For example, export a model for 3D printing. Choose export. It's going to ask you what kind of file you prefer. And normally for a 3D printable file, we would use STL, and you can choose STL, and it's going to save this to your local storage and your iPhone, and then you can upload it to your computer for further manipulation, like remove the things, the parts that you really don't like, and scale it up or down. All right, so that's essentially what we have. It's really a simple app which you can use to create three-dimensional learning objects. It's pretty accurate for learning purposes. Of course, there are other apps you can use, like a Polycam, to 3D scan small things and the large things. Okay. All right, give it a try and see if you have any questions. Thank you.